So we're back working on the bulldozer. We're in the shed at the moment. It's a little bit cleaner, looks good. Still a little bit to go, need to get some shelves and stuff like that. But anyway, the old man gave me a suggestion for that oil fitting, which was clever, and I didn't think of it, which, you know, he's rather clever. So I've got the lines here, and we use a lot of this airline fitting in our industry, jobs, whatever we do. So I'm just going to screw that straight on, and then I can put some airline to the breast nipple fitting. So I'm going to cut that off and see if I can tap it out to, I think it's going to be bigger than 1/8, so it might have to be a quarter. And then I can put a quarter to 6mm airline fitting and run some airlines, and that'll fix that problem. And it's much better than pulling the whole guts out again. So we'll do that, eh? Let's set up. So hopefully it's not too hard to get the rest of that spring out. I actually might cut it back a bit further, because we don't really need to have that much hanging out. We can tap it. There we go. Alright, I'll get something and we'll see if that digs out. Looks like it's just brazed in, so if I get my torchy torch. Started out of the housing before I got that out, so we'll just give it a drill. So drilling size for 1/8 BSP is 8.8. So we'll see what happens when we try and drill this out. I think my drill bit's a bit blunt. I'll sharpen that up. Right, let's give it another crack with sharpened drill bit. Oh. There we go, that was a piece of the steel sheathing. There we go, so we've met up with the other hole, so we'll get a tap. I don't have a 1/8 BSP tap, but I'll get that from work, and I'll tap these and we'll chuck them in. They can be chucked on later, so we'll get the other one done, then we can go and chuck in these little fittings onto the other side, so at least they're all ready to go when we get the tap for this side. Sweet, that's gonna work. There they are, both ready for tapping. So we'll go and chuck some of these on and carry on with putting the brakes and stuff on. So I'll get my tools organised and we'll go for a drive and get her all starting to get put back together so we can start the thing. Let's go. Where we left off was we had just got these clutch forks in, ready to put the brake pads on. So let's chuck these brake pads on, see how that goes. Hopefully they are in the right way. I haven't taken this part out, so it should be good as gold. So we'll give that a go and then drain some oil. Let's do it. So we're going to reinstall these brake pads. Just slides right around here. That side there connects to this brake pad, and then underneath we've got this adjuster bolt here, and that screws onto the back of it. So that there is threaded, and that threads onto this. So we just got to put that on there and then do up that nut, and that should join it on. Right, before we do it right up, I'm going to put some anti-seize on it. Yep. Yep. Oh. It's always hard doing stuff by yourself. But I don't think another person could fit under here anyway. Trying to grab it from the top so I can... Where is it? Here it is. This is going to definitely be a bit of a fight. There. And since it's raining, the ground's all wet. Makes it beautiful for being underneath something. Got it. So done it up to there, and then we'll join the top and see what the tension's like, and I'll get this other side done as well. Right, we've got the bottoms on, so now we will chuck that pin through, if we can get it there. It's pretty easy. So it's just a split pin, put through another pin. Boom. Brakes. I might turn that over the other way. Well, that's embarrassing. It's taking some time just to split the pin in it. Oh look, there we go. Right, that'll hold that in there. I think there's also a spring that goes on here and a bolt there that just pulls it, obviously, off or tensions it somehow. So I'll get the other side in and then we'll get back to this bolt. So this spring here goes between this little niven and this loop here, and I think the bolt just goes through here and stops the whole brake pad wanting to pull this way, to make it evenly pull around the drum is my guess. So I'll chuck this in, and then this here goes through the back side here and push it on the pad. Some of this stuff. So my guess is that that just stops this brake pad from pulling off when you activate the brakes, and it actually pulls the brake pad, and the lever down there pulls on the brake pad. So I can feel it moving. It probably needs a bit more adjusting because that's not doing much. It's doing something but not a whole lot. So that nut that I put underneath is the adjustment for the brakes. So I'll leave that there for now, move on to the next one, and then we can move on to the next step, which I think will be draining out this oil so we can put some fresh stuff in, and then we can put this engine plate back on. So they're both installed on there. Have you ever had to work with chickens? They're pretty annoying, but they give us some eggs, so that's alright. Anywho, so now we'll drain this oil. There's a bung underneath, so hopefully my 3/4 adapter fits that bung underneath. We'll drain her out. So it's this one under here, right here, and yep, that's the one. I can feel it in my bones that that's going to be bloody tight, so go and get the big boy. Ooh. Most of the oil's already out from when I took the clutches out, because it runs into the clutch housing once you take all the bolts out. So we'll just have a little bit in this container. Oh, some water in the bottom, expected. Everything I work on has got disgusting oil. So we'll let that drain out. And what am I going to clean this sludge out with? Might go and get some degreaser and some brake clean or something like that and give it a good squirt down. Just trying to get all that sludge off the bottom. Stir it up with my hand. Much better. So now we need to put the top cover on and fill it with oil. Cool. Right, I think I'm going to let it drip overnight just to get the rest of all the gunk out, and then tomorrow I can seal this and put the top on, and then we can put the seat on, put everything on, the tank on, and then give her a try to get her going. So that'll be good fun. What do you want? It's crooked toes. Yeah, so I'll be back just like this. Click. Right, it's next day, but I'm having trouble putting these fittings on the bottom of that thread there where the grease line goes on. So I think I'll do the right thing and take these back out, not the whole thing but the forks. I'll take these back out, and then I'll chase the thread with a die nut and cut them to suit 1/8 BSP. Then I can put these on, and we can have the oil feed line back in. Yeah, after thinking about it, I think I should fix it properly than just leaving them. So I'll pull those out and get back to you once these these have come back up, and we can sort it out with the die nut. So I've rotated them over, and all we're going to do now is cut some new threads on it with this die nut. So you just got to get it started. I don't think this is a BSP thread, so slightly different, but we'll just cut some new threads into it, which will be fine. So chuck the nut on, make sure it's square, then I'll use my ratchet and just do it up. So it's going on down the thread and cutting a new thread. So we'll finish that off. There we have it. Some nice new 1/8 BSP threads that we can put some airline fittings onto and return our remote grease lines back to service. So I'm stoked with that, because I finished yesterday when I said that I was going to wait for it to drain out, thinking I should do it right, otherwise I'll kick myself. So I'll screw these fittings on. So I've got some nice 90s. I'll put some hydraulic sealant onto these threads just to seal them up and screw them on. Beauty. Just thread these bad boys on here. If I can get it started. There we go. Put that on there, I'll screw it on properly, and then there you go. We've got our grease feed down there. That's not going to hit anything, and it's reinstated, so good as. And I brought a tap home so we can tap those other ends. Got both of those on, so I'll go back ahead and put the clutch forks back on and wind those pins back up, hold them in place, then we can put the oil in, and then we can put the cover back on. I don't have the airline for this yet, but there is an inspection hatch in here, so I should be able to get them on once the cover's back on. Because once the cover's back on, we can start putting everything back on. Can't wait to hear this thing run again. It's so cool, so cool. Right, I'll get these forks in, and then we'll look at getting some oil in and cover. So there's our top hatch that needs to go on. So that's the bush for the top of this. Those are inspection hatches. I thought they were down this side, so it's going to be quite difficult to get my hand in there to get the line on. So I'll go up into the shed and see if I've got any there. I was meant to bring it home today, but I forgot. Excuse me. But I forgot, so hopefully I've got some in the shed somewhere. Yeah, got to put these must be just a oiling seal or a seal. Put those back in. Got all the bolts here. We need to go and tap those bits for the top of the grease line, because they need to be bolted in here. So we'll go for a drive up to the new garage and tap those bits and put the fittings in them. As you might see by the big hole out the front here and the groundworks it needs doing, I have yet to use my brand new lift. It's very disappointing. It's the lawnmower. as you can see, I've cleaned all my tools up. So there's tap, and we'll tap these out to accept a new grease fitting. I'll go and find a tap wrench, might be in my toolbox. Yeah, it's never in the packet, is it? Right, I'll find something and then we'll carry on with that. So I've decided I'll just go with the drill method, which is just chuck it in, start it nice and slow. Done. Next. Beautiful, some nice threads in there now. So we'll wind in, I think we'll just use these small fittings. They're already pre-taped sealant, so we'll chuck those in. Look at that. Good to go. So I'll button those up and take them down and we'll bolt them into that plate. Good news is I found some airline in the shed, so that's going to stop me from struggling to get that in when I've got it. So I'm just going to chop it in half for now. And I think we'll put it on here. So there's our new fitting with the push-in line. And I'll pump the grease. Oh, I'll just get a rough measurement of where it's going to be, because it'll be super long. So we plug that into this side, and if the fitting is about here, we can chop it. What way is it going to face? Let's have a look on this plate here. So these bolt in here, so they can either face that way or this way. So backwards would be into that middle plate there, which would probably be alright. So it's going to be about here. So what I think I'll do is I'll bolt them on, cut these to length once it's on. So I'll pump a bit of grease through them with a little bit of extra, and then we can cut them once it's on. Actually, I'll just do it that whole lot. Don't want to cut it too short and then have to miss out on putting the top on tonight because I don't have any more line. So we'll just pump that full of grease. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Thanks, Dad, for the suggestion. Cool. So if I take that off this side now, and we can just bolt those onto the cover, and this will be ready for the top once it's done. So we'll do that to the other one as well. Right, I'm happy we did that. Happy. It's those type of jobs that you brisk over without doing properly, and then you're constantly thinking about it. So yeah, that's good. I think we did that. Right, so now we need to put that bung back in and fill that centre housing with fresh oil. And then we can put this cover on, gasket goo it up, cover on, honky dory. Alright, I'll put the bung in. Right, bungs in. Let's put some oil in it. Got some 85 W140, 4 litres. Hopefully 4 litres is enough. Right, once we get it going, we might put a little bit more in there. It's a bit low, but it'll be right for now. There's a hatch at the back we can open up to fill that up. So now I'm going to clean this surface, a bit of brake clean, get ready for some gasket maker. And then we can put the top on before it rains. I feel like it's going to rain any moment. Some Ultimate Grey JB Weld RTV. Stupid chickens isn't there eating my lying mat. Thick. I'm not the best at this. So let's put that on a time lapse. Well, it's not beautiful, but it'll do the trick. I'm sure you don't need a ton of it to seal, you just need one line of it to seal. But anyway, let's chuck the top cover on. That'll be progress. Hope they haven't forgotten anything. It'll be too late now. Well, not really. Boom. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll bolt it down. Right, we're just going to nip them and then we'll wait for that RTV to dry for a bit. Then we'll do it all up tight. Right, we'll let that sit for half an hour and then we'll do these all up tight. While we wait, we'll just chuck these all back together. So that must be just a wiper seal or oil seal or something like that, maybe to keep the bushes a bit lubed. And then these go on top. Maybe I should paint them all. I will. That goes on there. All this hardware was sitting on top of here, so I think this is what holds on the seat and stuff like that. I think these were just filled the hole because the oil's in there. So what we'll do is we'll put these in here just to stop any junk getting into the oil. Same with these ones here, I think just had blank off bolts. They look like they've been cut homemade. So we'll just put those in there. What else we got? If I put them in there and I've got to take them out to put all the seat and stuff on, that's alright. At least it's just stopping the stuff from getting inside the cavities. Yet to clean up these plates that are on here. We took them off when we first went to visit just to check the clutches out, but we couldn't tell much from just looking at them, so it wasn't until we started moving it till we found that there was a problem. So I'm going to guess that these long ones go in here. Put that on the low setting. Almost sounds like what the Bulldozer sounds like. So these little bolts here are for those grease fittings we were talking about. So these can go in here like that. And then we can cut this line, put it behind here and plug it in. Beauty. Right, let's see how long we need these. So if I have a look out there, so I'll cut it there. That's what we're going to cut off the other one and plug it on. Cool, plugged in. Awesome. Right, we'll give this half an hour and then I'm going to do up all the bolts. Right, the clutches are all installed. Pretty cool. So I don't know if you can see in there, but the air line goes round down to the grease fittings. We fixed that. Oil in it. Might need to put some more in it later on. We can put some more in through this hatch if we need to, or just pour some down the bolt holes. Next job is putting all this stuff back on. It's been neglected, sitting here for a while, so I have to dig it out of all the leaves and chuck it back on. But I think I'll leave it there for this moment because I'm doing this after work and I don't have a lot of time at the end of the day like everyone, so I'll catch you on the next one.